evening, beautiful people. I hope that you are all well. I truly apologize. I am experiencing technical difficulties. God, I love the technical difficulties. Um, uh, yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming back. Welcome to the Nurturing Conversations podcast. I guess since you guys wasn't able to see my disclaimer, um, I guess I'll just have to give it to you live. I do not tolerate disrespect that is in any way, shape, form, or fashion that is towards me, towards anyone that appears on the screen, towards anyone that appears on the chat. This is a safe space of light, love, and positivity. We are here to have a nurturing conversation in regards to the cost of perfection. I am not a mental health professional. I am just one woman willing to share my one woman willing to share my personal experiences to let you know two things. One, you are not alone. Two, you can overcome anything that life throws at you. There will be curse words, there will possibly be tears. My opinions are my opinions, your opinions are your opinions. We are here to have a nurturing conversation in regards to our opinions. So feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm going to try out, they have this, or you can invite people on. So if you would like to come on the screen, don't do any weird shit. It is 2023. We are surviving a global fucking pandemic. If you haven't decided to be a great person, a great human being, this isn't the place for you. We are here to move forward. We are surviving currently, presently, right now, today, still surviving a global fucking pandemic. And I'm just here to have conversations in regards to the things that people don't talk about or talk about to themselves in a closet with where they're at home and they've been struggling with. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about real life issues, and today we're going to talk about a bunch of them because we're talking about the cost of perfection. for me for me, again, my opinion is my opinion, your opinion is your opinion. Feel free to drop in the chat, whether you agree or disagree. We're here to have a good conversation. Tonight, we are talking about the cost of perfection, as many of the topics that I talk about come from personal experiences. So, tonight, we're talking about the cost of perfection and something I realized that I hold myself accountable for every day is waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the right time, waiting for the right situation. And we all have the moments where it's like, oh, when the timing is right, or we have that moment, right? I asked somebody, I was speaking with an artist um, this or last week, and I was like, can you tell me a time where you remember something being perfect? And he was thinking, and he was thinking. And I said, you can't, because there's nothing in life perfect. And he was like, no, no. And I was like, the reality of it is we've never seen anything perfect, but we all strive for perfection. We all do. I think it's like something we were indirectly taught or something that we were directly taught when we were growing up. We strive to be the best. We strive to be everything. But the reality of it is we live our lives without the thought of mistakes. We all make them. We all make them. But we live our lives where we strive to not make mistakes. In reality, for me, a lot of the mistakes I made have helped come the person that I am today. It has helped me get to the place where I am able to talk about my emotions, where I am able to apply feelings, apply words to my emotions, and not just react. You know what I'm saying? Like, we spend so much time waiting for the right person to come along. We our lives have passed us by and we spend time waiting for the right person, when I feel like if we are out here doing what we're supposed to do, living in our purpose, walking in greatness, everything will happen. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. It's not, I'm going to sit on my hands and twiddle my fingers and wait till the sky God drops it on me. And that's no disrespect to anybody that believes in God. I'm just saying, a lot of times we be sending prayers up but don't do anything. We do nothing to help push those prayers to show that faith about them works, with them works. Um, I just have gotten to a place in my life where I'm not going to wait until the situation is perfect because I'll be waiting forever. I don't know if you figured it out. Like, you'll be waiting forever. 2020, everybody had vision boards, vision books, had hopes, dreams, and aspirations, how we were going to live our life, what we were going to do. And then we got hit with a global fucking pandemic out of nowhere. No, nowhere. Um, so everybody' lives was changed. Every everybody, rich, poor, tall, skinny, fat, short, everybody' lives was changed. People who were once busy weren't busy anymore. People started to really hone into what it means to be human. We all wanted to hug each other. We wanted to talk to each other. We wanted to see each other. We wanted to do all of those things because we were in a global pandemic. We still in one, but like it was really detrimental to us seeing our loved ones. And so now it's like we're in 2023, and it's not as, excuse me, the rules aren't as tough as they were before, and we be holding grudges against people, and we not speaking to people, and we they know how I feel, or they know what I think in it, and I'm just sitting here like I don't want to be like that in 2023 and beyond. I don't want to spend my entire I spent my 20s, I spent my 30s. 30 years when I went to therapy. I don't want to continue to carry around things because I'm waiting to be recognized. I'm waiting for this person to love me. I'm waiting for this job to see how great of a worker I am before I'm no, I'm not with any of that. I am going to take accountabilities of my actions. I am not in a place where I want to be in my life because of me. I'm not saying that's the case for you, but what I'm saying is I am not in a place where I want to be in my life because of me. I've said numerous of times um, when the time is right, and then I start to think about that whenever I put my mind to do something or whenever I do it, it's the right time. We like to give ourselves that little leeway. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do that tomorrow, or I'm gonna start that business when I get enough money. And it's like you seeing everybody around you start a business, and you're like, well, I don't got the money to do the business, or I don't got this to do the business, I don't got the resources. They're not trying to give me. When in actuality, you got YouTube, you got Google, you got Chat GPT. There's so many different resources available to us to be great right now. Not saying that we didn't have them before, but I'm talking about right now, like coming on the tail end. Can I say that? I don't know if I want to say a tail end of a pandemic because we're still in it, but you are 3 years into a pandemic. I feel like now is the perfect time for us to figure out who we are, because a lot of us don't know who we are. We are our mother's son or our mother's daughter. We are our family has done this for so long. That's who we are. We know who we are when we're like at home alone in our room under the covers or just in the room with the lights off. You know who you are. Before you get on the computer, you know who you are. Before you walk out that door, you know who you are. But it's something that happens to all of us when we get ready to go sit in front of this computer, or when we get ready to go out the doors. It's like we have to put on a mask, not the mask for the COVID, but we have to put on a mask so that people can like us. We have to put on a mask so people can respect us. We have come too far, 3 years exactly. We have come too far to still be concerned about other people's opinions, thoughts. Um, we've come too far for that. And I wanted to talk about the cost of perfection because I see so many people. I work with music artists every day. They tell me I can't do this. Well, I'll wait to do this. I'll wait till I go viral to do this. Or I'll wait till I have enough money. And I'm just looking like, oh my God, you just spent 15, you just spent this. I'm looking at their money and I'm like, how about we reorganize your budget? Like we put the most important things first, and then I can show you how to itemize everything else. Because if you think about it, right? I used to think about my thing was shopping. I love to shop. I don't like to shop on I don't like to shop online. I don't like to shop I like to go to the stores and actually shop. I like to feel the things in my hands while I am shopping. I love to shop. I don't shop as much as I used to because I realized that that was therapy for me. Like if I was having a really bad day or something, I would go to the store and I would just buy. And it had to be something really expensive. I don't know what that was. Actually, I do because I learned it in therapy. Um, I realized that shopping helps me. It like calms me down, helps me think. So weird. It's so weird, but it helps me think. It helps me to put my thoughts together. So I would shop. I would buy um, nice bags. I would buy nice clutches. Hi, fancy. I would buy things, and they would sit and collect dust. And I thought to myself, I'm buying all of these things. I'm spending money on things that I don't even wear. I don't even Maybe you are like this. You have a closet full of clothes that still have the tag on it. You thought it was cute, so you bought it, but it's still in there. You got shoes, like shoes lined up. I have a pair of shoes that I wanted so bad. I wanted those shoes so bad. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to put this outfit with. I had it laid out. I have not, with the exception of trying the shoes on, I have not worn the shoes, and the price tag was hundreds of dollars, and I have not worn them, and they're still in my closet. Now that I think about it, I should probably pull them out and wear them. Now that I think about it, but it's like we look for admiration, we look for love and affection, and we do whatever it needs to do. Like people, we are born with beautiful bodies. We are born with beautiful bodies, tall, short, wide, small, slim, tall, dark chocolate, light chocolate, whatever color, whatever size. We are born beautiful. And sometimes we see other people and they have, and thicker lips or they have wider hips. And then we want that. And sometimes people spend money to go get it and they don't make it back home. Sometimes people spend money to get it and they have health complications. There is a cost to looking perfect, whether it's finances, whether it's mental tolls. We just witnessed a situation over this past couple of weeks of someone having a mental break, like a real life mental break. And yeah, people are all over social media making jokes about it. I'm not gonna act like I didn't laugh because I did. I did. Some of We are some really talented people. Really talented people. I don't know if y'all been seeing the TikTok shorts. Really talented people. But the reality of it is people are going to taking really extreme measures to get um, attention. People are going to really extreme measures to get attention, to be seen. I've seen artists buy streams just so people can say, "Oh, you got a bunch of streams." I The cost of perfection for me is too expensive. I'm not even trying to pay for it. I'm broke when it comes to buying perfection. It's a no. It's a no for me. I'm coming with imperfections. My YouTube channel, my Twitch, I be so transparent so y'all can see I'm not out here trying to be perfect. I make mistakes. I procrastinate. I do a lot of those things. I am human. Human beings make mistakes. Human beings lie. We do a lot of things. And sometimes we try to hide those things from people. But the reality of it is, if more people start seeing that we are human, I feel like the love we had for each other will come back. We got so used to like typing a status, or we don't even talk. That's why I have a whole nurturing conversations podcast, because we don't even talk anymore. People don't even talk. It's like when they do talk, it's like, then you get my text, and then I don't know if y'all like me. Sometimes when people be sending texts and they have capital letters, I be thinking like, who you yelling at? I'm talking to you in a calm voice. That's why I like to FaceTime or call or talk in person, because I don't want any misconstrued. I don't want any miscommunications. I want to talk to you so you can actually see. That's why I'm doing this podcast. I want y'all to see, like, there is a cost to perfection. There is a cost to it. Again, whether it is money, it is mental health, it is sometimes your life, it is relationships. It has a cost that I don't think too many people think about, because we are striving to be perfect. There's an old saying like, "What would Jesus do?" And if you take the time to actually read the Bible, Jesus did a lot. Jesus did a lot. This is gonna be the religious segment of the podcast. No, really, Jesus did a lot. If you think about Jesus, he was in a desert. He had to fight feelings with the devil. He was walking with the leopards and the street walkers, night walkers. I'm trying to use it. He walked with them. He ate with the people that the regular people, the higher ups would not eat with. Like, he was in the trenches with the people. But when other people talk about Jesus, it's like he's this magical being. I'm not saying that he's not magical, but I'm saying if we humanized him, yes, he's a spirit. Yes, he's all knowing, all powerful. But if we look at him as though us, right? I be telling people, like, you over here worried about people talking about you. Don't you know Jesus' own people talked about him? If the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ didn't get away with any of the things, he had people talked about him, he had people lie on him, he had people do all of these things. If he didn't get away with it, how do we expect for us to get away with it? How do we expect for people to not? I don't know why people, how do we not expect for people to talk about us? If you are doing good in life, people are going to talk about you. I be telling music artists, right now today, like, so many people are afraid to be on the internet. They are, like, they're afraid of AI, they're afraid of everything, right? Last week I was showing movies on my Twitch, um the AI movies on my Twitch, and I was showing them because I was like, I don't think we are paying attention. Like, they've been showing us how they utilize AI. They've been showing us what they're going, the next phases of, like, cars. Like, they've been showing us all of this. We just haven't been paying attention, or we just like, they wouldn't do that. Why would they do that? Do y'all remember a couple of months ago? I don't know if y'all watch the news, but do y'all remember a couple of months ago, like, Bitcoin and Cash App, like, all of these, like, um financial people were like, just mysteriously something was happening to them. I started watching. I was like, okay, let me start paying attention, because my uncle taught me. This, this is why you got to get you some elders in your community, because elders be passing down wisdom. My uncle taught me, anytime they, like, highlight something, or they put one thing, like, it was a submarine that was everybody was talking about, but they had already knew that it had blew up. Anyways, they all of these, like, Bitcoin, all of these different people started just mysteriously being unalived. And I thought to myself, it's like, why they not talking about that? And then you heard the government, I don't know if it was supposed to be this month or next month, it's gonna have a whole, like, Cash App thing. And I was just sitting here, like, paying attention, reading, researching, doing all this stuff. And I was just like, oh my God, we are literally, like, we are so consumed with looking good on social media. We are so consumed in letting everybody know that we look good, right? You guys remember a couple of months or a year or so ago when what's the guy's name from Ellen's show passed away? Right? Everybody was like, oh my God, he smiled all the time. Oh my God, he looks so happy, right? We are so good with our masks. Like, we've been wearing masks for 3 years. Some of us have been wearing masks. But people have gotten so good with putting up a facade that they are okay, when in reality, you're not. And it's okay not to be okay. I'm going to say that again. It is okay not to be okay. However, it is not okay to stay there. I feel like sometimes life beats us up and we like beat ourselves up because life is beating us up. The thing we know to do is to beat ourselves up. And so now we just really down. And the only person that could really help us is Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whatever deity you serve. When in actuality, if you go on the inside of yourself and find that thing, we are all born with that thing. Maybe your thing is basketball. Maybe your thing is football, soccer, kickball. Maybe you're supposed to be a nurse, a pediatrician, a doctor. Maybe you are just supposed to be a wonderful human being. We are all born with that thing. And I feel like our life experiences as we are toddlers, our preteens, teenagers, adults shape us to be who we are, right? I told you I'm not perfect. I done had a lot of experiences in my life. If you want to know the in depth of them, go follow me. Go subscribe to my YouTube. I tell everything because I want you to know like I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to find my way. And my way right now is a journey of healing and self discovery. And the greatest thing that I've learned on that journey is that I have to let go of things that I'm holding on to. I have to let go of anger. I have to let go of bitterness. I have to let go of people. Have to let go of people. You got hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and you sharing them with your people. You sharing them with your guy, your girl, your baby mama, baby daddy, whoever. You sharing them, right? And then you get that. Why you think you could do that? Who you think you are? You think you better? Why is that a response all the time? So I just made up in my mind in 2023 when somebody say you think you better, I'm gonna say yes I am. Yes I am. And how what makes me better is I have recognized that I am the only reason why I am not walking in wealth. And I don't just mean money. I mean like health, finances, mental, all of that. I was literally sitting over here today. I shared that I have a concert series. The third installment of my concert series is coming up on the 23rd. And I've been really working hard. And I've been beating myself up about getting sponsorships, making sure that I can pay everybody, making sure that the graphics look great. Like I've been really going hard on myself. And so I got up this morning and I was like, I'm taking a break. I'm not doing anything. I know at 6 o'clock I'm gonna hit the post on my Facebook and then I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna schedule out everything else and I'm just gonna take a break. I'm not gonna do anything. My mind, because I'm somebody that likes to like I gotta everything gotta be. Mm-mm. I said it's a no. We not doing anything today. We just gonna post that. We gonna do the podcast at 7, and other than that, we just gonna chill out. That's all we gonna do. Do you know how long it took me to get to that point? Do you know how long it took me to get to the point where I could tell myself to rest? Why do I have to tell myself to rest? Right? You would think that it would be a natural thing. Rest. I'm sleepy. I spend so much time being busy that I did not listen. I did not know how to listen to my body. I didn't know how to listen. Like, your body will tell you when you're tired, when you're hungry. It'll tell you when you're in danger. It'll tell you all those things. But we're not taught to listen to those things. Or I'll say, I wasn't taught. I don't never want to speak for anybody else. I want other people to have the opportunity to speak for themselves. So I'll say, I wasn't taught to rest. When you're growing up and you go to school and it's like, oh, take a nap. And you don't want to take a nap because you're like, oh, I might miss something. Now, as a 43-year-old woman, I love taking naps. I will take a nap. I love to take a nap. I love scheduled naps, but sometimes when you just be so exhausted, you be taking a nap at any time. Luckily, I be in safe spaces where, people be looking, but I be taking naps. I had to unlearn a lot of things. I had to unlearn a lot of things. And it's not to say that I was taught wrong or anything. It's just, it didn't work for me. That's like, it's the whole go to college or don't go to college debate. And we want everybody to go to college because we want them to be successful. We want them to have this. But at the same time, college isn't for a lot of people. Some people don't have the discipline to go to class and not go to the parties all the time. Some people don't have the discipline to be an athlete and do the homework. Like there's discipline. Like we don't have the discipline to do multiple things. It's like we're waiting for perfect time to propose to someone. It's like you've been together for like 7, 8, 5. You've been together for a number of years. I feel like you know, um, as soon as you meet a person, you know whether you're going to spend the rest of your life with them or you're not. I think sometimes we just overlook things because we want to be loved. We want to have that companionship. We want to have somebody that could tell us we look good. We want to have somebody that could support us. We want to have travel companion. We want to have all of these things. So we be tolerating stuff that you ever had this moment in your life where you was like, I wish a motherfucker would. You ever had one of those moments? Now let me ask you this, right? Have you have a motherfucker ever? You know, you'd be like, I wish a motherfucker would cuss me out. And then you go to your you go to your job or you go somewhere and somebody cuss you out. And then you don't think about it until like after it's over with. Or sometimes in that moment you'd be like, did this motherfucker just cuss me out? And now you're thinking like, damn, I just said I wish. So I be real mindful when I say, because I used to say I wish a motherfucker would, and then motherfucker started doing, and I just was like, yeah, no, I'm not with that. That's why in the beginning I said I don't tolerate disrespect. I don't. I'm not here to disrespect anybody. That's why I told you at the beginning that I was going to say have curse words. There's going to be a lot of different things that you might not agree with, but hey, I'm here to have a nurturing conversation. Um, I paid the cost a lot of times for perfection. Never got it. Never got it. I could say, "Oh, I came so close," but the reality of it is it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist for me to try to get. So I'm striving for something that doesn't exist. I'm putting in a good fight for something that doesn't exist. But you know what does exist? Hard work. Hard work exists. I said I wanted to have a podcast, right? And at first, because I was a little afraid, I was afraid. I'm telling you guys, I was afraid. I was saying to myself, who gonna listen to me? Why would anybody listen to me? And I laughed because I really was like, why would anybody listen to me? You probably said that to yourself. You probably have an idea for a course, right? Maybe you are a parent and you want to help other parents with their kids, or you got a daycare owner, you want to help people with daycare or other daycare providers. Maybe you have a course, right? And you said to yourself, I'm gonna make this course and I'm gonna sell it and people gonna buy it. And then something said, why would people listen to you? That it always start there. Why would people listen to you? What makes you think people gonna buy something for you? And then you just go down the rabbit hole. It's like, well, yeah, I don't have the credentials. I don't have the experience. Well, I mean, I did. We start to question ourselves. Let me tell you what I do in 2023. I actually been doing this for the last 3 years. So I said, I'm gonna start a podcast. And the podcast is gonna be called Nurturing Conversations. And I'm gonna talk about every fucking thing that we as people don't want to talk about, but we should talk about, but we talk about to ourselves in the mirror, or we talk about it in our friend groups and nobody's still doing anything about it. I want to talk about those things. And at first, because I was afraid, I said, I'm gonna call it Sunday Night Dinner and Convos. And I would come here and I would have dinner and I would talk to y'all like we was on a little date or something. And I built up the courage to say, it's time. It was already time when I said Sunday Night Dinner and Convo. I knew the first day I did the podcast, I knew it was going to be called Nurturing Conversation. That was over there. I just wasn't ready to label it as a podcast yet. It was in my mind. I just wasn't ready to speak it past my lips just yet. So I dragged my feet. I procrastinated. I did it. Sometimes I was organized, sometimes I wasn't, but I realized the thing that I have discovered in the years of doing the Sunday Night Dinner and Convo Nurturing podcast is I am most comfortable when I just speak from my heart. I have an outline. I have a podcast outline, everything that I'm going to talk about. And sometimes I throw some stuff in there, but I'm most comfortable when I speak from my heart. And I gave a disclaimer because I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but at this point in 2023, I think people's feelings need to get hurt. I think we're so used to having people yes us or big us or tell us, "Oh, girl, you look cute." No, we don't look cute. I thought about the young lady who, had the situation this past week, and I thought, what what was her mental state like? Like she's going to nursing school, she got a job, she had a boyfriend, she making doing life, she being a productive citizen in society. But what happened to her? Like what happened between all of that and what happened this past week? What happened to her? Like we all know somebody that we see them and they just smiling and they're like doing, hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. I got this new thing, right? I was talking to an artist and I asked them how they were doing, and then she said, "I choose to be well," and I was like, "Oh, I like that." Like people like, "How are you? How you? Hey, girl, how you doing?" You be like, "I'm good," knowing you not. You fighting back tears while you saying, "I'm good." I think we should. I think we should cry more. I think we should cry more. I think we should tell people when we are not okay, because the sad thing is when people pass away, we always have that they didn't even look like they was sad. They didn't even look like, and we know. We could say we don't know, but if you know when somebody is not doing good. You ever had a moment where you were just going about your day and like a person just dropped, like they consumed your being, like you felt them from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. You felt them, and it was like call them or pull up over here, and it literally. I don't know if it do that for y'all, but that's what it happens to me. It'd be like, hey, call. And so I would call, FaceTime, text, I would DM. I'm every way, every way there is to communicate with people. I be on all of those things. In case you missed this one, you will see this one. Cause right now, I don't know if y'all paying attention. Um, the cost of perfection is extremely high. It's oh, we gotta look good in our relationship so that people don't think that we struggling, or people don't think that we are having, issues, when in reality you're not. And I don't know why people think that people on the outside can't see what's going on with them, because it's always the people on the outside that can tell you what's going on. But I'm in a place where in my life where I want people to hear therapy. I want it to deposit in the back of their mind so that if they can be like, you know what, I ain't gonna go to therapy. I ain't gonna go to therapy. Then something gonna happen. It's gonna be like, I need to go to therapy. I feel like we are so like programmed, because what do we see? We see the house, the cars, we see the grills, we see the clothes, we see the shoes, we see all of that stuff, right? We see all the glimmer, we see all the sparkly stuff, right? But we're not seeing that these people are they in a house, they like struggling, they struggling mentally, they're at their wits end, like, okay, if something doesn't move, if something doesn't change, then I got to do something. I'm pretty sure you watching this, you have been at that place where it's like, if something don't change, I got to do something. I've been there. I've been there a couple of times in my life. 8 years ago, I was homeless. 8 years ago, I was homeless. Never in my life did I ever think I would be homeless. But 8 years ago, when I say homeless, I mean like I had no place to go. They were saying, like with all the pandemic and people not going to work, you got to have the COVID shot before you can go to all of that, right? People didn't know. Nobody knew like how we were going to like maintain, survive. Nobody knew. And then everybody was like, we're all only one paycheck away from being homeless. And I was like, if you ever been homeless, if you ever been without, like you don't want to have that feeling again. And me, like, I was like, I don't know how I got here. I don't know how I got here. I was doing everything I was supposed to do. And then there was, you were doing. And I looked and I said, and I was like, I was doing what? I was giving so much of myself that I was putting everybody before me. Everybody, everybody came before me. And then life had to tap me on my shoulder and was like, hey, we need you to worry about you. And I was like, I'll do that a little later. But right now, I got to make sure everybody. And then I thought to myself, like, I don't want to do that anymore. What do I need to stop, or what do I need to let go so that I don't do that? And you know what it was? I was holding on to this thing from when I was like little, little. I don't even know the age, but I was little. I always felt like my parents didn't love me. I felt like my parents didn't love me. And so, because I felt like that, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure everybody loves me. How the hell I'm going to get everybody to love me? I don't know what I was thinking, but I make sure everybody loved me. And how was I getting everybody to love me? I was a people pleaser. I would do for any and everybody. You could cuss me out and you need a ride. I'm going to take you wherever you need to go because I want you to be safe. I was I was that person. I was that person. I would give my extreme, I would give above and beyond. I was out here helping people pay mortgages and light bills. I didn't have any of that, but I was doing all of that. And then the pandemic hit. Actually, it started before the pandemic hit. It was like when I was like 28, 29. I was like, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to like I don't want to work. Number one, I don't want to work for a company that can replace me at any time. I don't want to give y'all all my time and energy, and then you could just call somebody. You could fire me on my day off, and I don't want to do that. So I needed to figure out what I want to do with my life. Number two, I am not about to give anybody. I'm not about to give anybody the time of day to tell me who I am, what I can and cannot do. I'm not giving anybody that time. I I thought to myself, when you grow up, they ask you like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, oh, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or I want to be a dentist, or I wanted to be a veterinarian. You remember all of those things when you were little? You was like saying all those things. What are you doing right now? I asked myself that question. I said, you ain't doing none of the shit you said that you wanted to do. It's not that you don't have the capabilities of doing it. It's not that you don't have the resources to do it. It's just you. That's when you have to have the tough, you have to have the greatest conversation you're going to have is with yourself. You ever be in a relationship and you look at yourself in that relationship and be like, how the hell did you get here? You one of those people like, I wish a motherfucker would disrespect me. And then people slightly, it's the slight disrespect. You don't look at it, you know it's disrespect, but you was like, nah, they ain't really just do that. The reality of it is they really just did that. And we be trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. And there's nothing wrong with giving people the benefit of the doubt. However, when it's at the cost of you, yeah, no. 2023, it's all about me. I remember people be saying those click. No, 2023, it's all about me. I say when I in my YouTube videos, I say, you have survived a global fucking pandemic. And anyone that cannot love, respect, or appreciate you, those are like basic things. Love, respect, appreciate. I didn't feel like I had that from my parents. And as I started to think about it, I was like, no, my mother really loved me. You want to know how I know my mother really loved me? Because my mother sent me to chapter 220 schools. And you're probably like, what the fuck does that have to do with loving you? My mother saw in me that I was going to be the person that I am. And she set me up for greatness. She set me up for greatness. Do y'all know I cried and I cried. I wailed because I wanted to go to the local schools. I wanted to go to the local schools with the people in the neighborhood. That's what I wanted to do. And my mother was like, you going out here, you gonna learn. And it wasn't until I went to therapy and then she said something about my parents. And I was like, they don't care anyways. And she's like, how do you know they don't care? Nobody had ever asked me, how do I know that my parents don't care? And you're probably like, that's a simple ass question, but let me ask you this, right? Do you love yourself? And you probably was like, yeah, fucking yeah, I love myself. But the reality of it is if you really love yourself, do you put yourself first? There's a question. She said, how do you know that they don't care? She said, I feel like you were putting all of the things that you wanted, all the things you saying. Because when I was growing up, I saw like people had two parents households, and I wasn't really like, why I didn't have a father or nothing. I'm like, why my father wasn't around. I was just because my granny was the greatest. If y'all grew up in the 80s and y'all had a granny that was like on her shit, yeah, my granny was the greatest. So I ain't missed too much of nothing. But I started to think about that thing, and I started to think about how I felt about my parents and what they didn't do or what they should have done, and that caused me to feel some kind of way about them. Like if you're in a relationship and you feel like this person should have married you a long time ago, or this person should have, they should be doing things, you start to feel a certain way when they don't, right? And it's like, oh yeah, it's looking good. We look good on the outside. We got the car, the house. We dress nice. We take trips. We looking real good. But you on the inside, you like this shit is not sweet, and you get into that edge where it's like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this anymore. But you know what's gonna happen? Cause we love perfection. We like making things look like they are something. You're gonna stay there. You'll stay there for another 5 or 6 years. That cheat on you, have another baby on you, or you will probably be like, you know what, I'm gonna go over here and cheat. Now y'all cheating on each other. Or y'all just become a polygamist and do that. But the reality of it is we gotta check ourselves. I had to check myself. And when I checked myself, I was like, you know what? I need to go talk to my parents because I need to clear this out and make some room. I had the idea of what my relationship with my parents was supposed to be because I was watching, I was looking at everything else, I was comparing. I was comparing. Like that looked it perfect to me to have the mother and the father. I had basketball games and my mother wouldn't come because she would be at church. And I was like, but my people came. And people will always come and support me, but the people you want to be there, they wasn't there. So I was like, let me go talk to my parents. And I went and I talked to my mother, and she was telling me like her life story, and I felt like I already knew her life story because I was there. But she was filling in the gaps. You ever feel like you know somebody, but then you start to really get to know them? It's like, damn, I didn't even know that about you. Yeah, she started to fill in the gaps, and then my father what my father said to me, I feel like changed how I look, how I will forever look at people. Um, my father said, I didn't know how to raise you. I didn't know how to. He said, 2 years before you were born, you had a sister and she passed away. And no one taught me about grief. Nobody taught me how I was supposed to handle losing a child, or nobody. And because I'm an adult and I'm like, well, that's an excuse because. And then I really thought about it, like, who the fuck was gonna teach him about grief? Who the fuck was gonna teach him how to handle losing a child? And I know you probably in your mind like, yeah, that's a little excuse, but at the same time, who was going to teach him that? And so I was like, I am so sorry. Like, I just put all these expectations on you because I thought, as a parent, but I didn't even think about where you were when I was born, the circumstances. I didn't think about any of that. And so I had the conversations with my parents, and I felt like lighter. I can't even, I felt lighter. I felt lighter. And I was like, holy shit, that was dope. What else I need to work on? And then, I've been on a journey of healing and self discovery for the last 3 years. I mean, I went to therapy. I started going to therapy like 29, 30. So I was in and out of therapy, because, life happens. But when I turned 40, I was like, I'm tired of carrying around shit. I'm tired of carrying around abuse. I'm tired of carrying around molested. I'm tired of carrying around all of it. And when I say carrying around, I'm tired of carrying around the guilt, the shame. I'm tired of carrying. I'm not out here like, hey, look at me, but it's like I'm tired of carrying that around because when shit happened to you, you like internalize shit, right? And like I said, I wanted to start a podcast, but who the fuck gonna listen to me? Who gonna listen to me? I've been uh taken advantage of sexually. I've I've had a lot of shit. I'm not, and I'm saying this to let y'all know I'm not perfect, but what I will do is I'm gonna work my ass off. I'm gonna persevere. All of that shit that I just said that I went through when I was 18, I lost my ability to walk and talk. They told me I would never. When you hear the words never, it's something that happens to your brain. It's something that happens to your brain when you hear the word never. It's just like, hmm, you mean never? Like I won't play basketball again? Like I won't roller skate? Like I won't be able to ride a skateboard? Like ride a bike? I can't do. It's literally something that starts happening. However, because I'm one of those people that's like, you ain't gonna tell me I'm not gonna be able to do. You ain't gonna tell that to me. Y'all looking at me, 43. You could hear me talking, right? It was not easy though. It was not easy. I was so determined. I was so determined to prove those doctors wrong because they ain't know me. They ain't know me. They ain't know what I got on the inside of me. And I said that because you have people around you telling you what you can and cannot do. You have people telling you like, "Oh, you gonna start that little business. You gonna do. You ain't gonna get married if he ain't married you by now." We got people all the time, all around us. Even if it's not just our families that's doing this, we got people on the internet telling us all the time. Oh, you got a gap in your teeth. You don't want to close your gap. They giving. I said to somebody, I said, when we were growing up, we would see our grandparents put those pull their teeth out and put them put them with the is it Fident? Put the little acid water and they put it on a nightstand, right? And we would make fun. We would laugh at our grandparents. We would laugh at people that had the little retainer. Like we would laugh at them. We shouldn't have been, but we would laugh at them. And I was like, when did they become popular to get dentures in your mouth? Like that's what I look at them as, dentures. I don't want. I am happy with. I knew because I used to suck my thumb when I was little. I knew they said you're either gonna have buck teeth, you're gonna have a gap. Like they gave me the list of everything. I didn't care. I found comfort in sucking my thumb. So I was willing to take the consequences of what happened. I have a gap. I think it looks kind of cute. I'm cool with it. Now other people might not like it, but hey, you don't have to live with it. I do. I be telling people, I be saying things to people all the time. Like sometimes we be so consumed with what other people think. Hi, Miss Flames, what other people think, how other people feel. We ask people, you ever have somebody ask you, do I look fat in this? You ever have somebody like, girl, do you like this? And sometimes people be joking. Sometimes people be joking, but I don't know if y'all know this, but the old people taught me, the seasoned people, the elderly. I don't even know a good word to not call be like rude or sound rude, but the older people, the OGs, that's what I call them. The OGs used to say, a lot of times people tell the truth in they jokes, but we just take them as jokes. We don't like think past it being a joke. But the reality of it is a lot of people be telling the truth. It's a lot of people that be laughing through their pain. I posted a podcast, um, a nurturing conversations podcast. It's called Balance, Breaks, and Boundaries. Balance, boundaries, and breaks. It's something like that, right? And so a gentleman posted on there and he was like, how did you come to know that? Like he has a whole book, he has everything about it, right? And so I, gave my response and I was like, but I would like to talk to you to understand like your journey. Like I like to talk to people because I like to understand their journey. And so I had a conversation with him yesterday, and it was just like, it is time for us to take accountability for us not being where we want to be. And having said that, it was like, I need to sit down and I need to figure out these next 5 months of my life. I have to do that And I've been putting it off because I was like, oh, I got the concert series. Oh, I got this festival. Oh, I got this stream. I got to do all these things. But I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write it all down and then I'm going to put it together. And then I'm going to work on that for the next 5 months. We only got 5.5 months left in this year. I'm going to work on that. And I was telling someone, they was like, well, I heard you got two podcasts. I was like, yeah, I do got two podcasts. One I haven't done in 2 years, but I'm bringing that back this in the next couple of weeks or days. Not even days, like it's like a couple of hours. But I'm bringing it back, and I was afraid to bring it back because when I first did it, I was terrified. I was terrified to do the podcast. Of course, I'm a recording artist. I invest in myself. I got recording equipment, lights. I got all this stuff, right? And I was just sitting here not utilizing it. It was just sitting here collecting dust. And I said, I want to help. How can I help? Let me share the knowledge, information, resources that I have. And so I started a second podcast. Actually, that was my first podcast. This is my second podcast. So my first podcast is a 60-second. I tell music artists 60 seconds. In 60 seconds, I give them information, resources on the music industry, right? And I started it. I didn't tell anybody that I did it. I was just doing it for me, just to get past the fear for me. And I got 22 episodes. Never told anybody. Just was posting. Just posting. And then I was like, "Oh, I'm going to start a podcast." But I didn't tell anybody that I already started a podcast. I was like, "Just posting." And then last year I got nominated for the best podcast where I live, best podcast in Milwaukee. And I was like, how the hell did y'all buy my podcast? So I would just upload them. I wouldn't go watch them or listen to them or anything. And so I'm about to bring it back. And I went to go look at it and I was like, holy and if I did those numbers without even like sharing it on my social medias or not even telling anybody it was there, imagine the numbers that I would do if I did that. And I was saying to myself, you did that while you were afraid. You did that while you were terrified. You were sitting in the chair on that mic shaking. Y'all couldn't see it, but I was shaking. When I first would come on here, when I would first do karaoke, I would literally be like, I would be shaking so bad because it was like the anxiety, all of that. And I was like, um, I do these things because I want to be a public speaker. I want to speak publicly. That's what I want to do. I want to share knowledge, resources, experiences with other people so that they can be better, that they can know one, you can overcome anything that life throws at you, and two, you are not alone. I want you to know that. You are not the only one that has paid the cost for perfection and has not received it. You are not the only one. And that's why I said I want to talk about the cost of perfection. And sometimes we be waiting. I had this artist, I was talking to him, and he was like, oh, yeah, my father told me I should start a podcast. And I was like, you should. And he was like, but I don't got time. You ever told somebody you ain't have time to do something? Yeah, I did that a lot. I used to do that. I used to do that a lot. And then you ever text somebody? You ever text somebody and you online and you see that green bubble, and you're like, how they online but they ain't responding back, right? We don't be knowing what people be going through, but we just feel like you green. I just text you, so you should text me. Oh, and don't text somebody with an iPhone and they say red and they ain't respond back. Now we in our feelings and we like what could they possibly be doing that they ain't responded back? We be playing. We be paying super taxes for perfection. We want to look good. We be buying all kinds of stuff to make us look good. I feel like I look good naturally. That's not to say that you don't probably look good naturally, but I feel like I look good naturally with everything. I remember I used to have long hair like down to like right here. It was long. And I woke up one morning and I was just like, I'm tired. And I went and cut it all off. And I didn't post a picture or anything. And I just was popping up on people and it was like, what the fuck? What the hell? Like people were going crazy. And I was just like, it's just hair. It's just hair. And so a lot of people were like really mean to me. a lot of people were really mean because they was like, here I am paying all this money for hair. You got long, pretty hair. I could do all this stuff with it. And I was like, but you don't even know what it's like to actually have this. You don't know how your arms get tired when you're trying to flat iron it or roll it up, or like you won't even know. That's why I say, like, about the people that's going to get BBLs. It's no knock if you go get a BBLs. You should talk to people who have, like, naturally have stuff like that, or people that go and get breasts and hand. You should talk to people who naturally have. Like, let us tell you about the back, back spasms and stuff like that. Let us tell you about stuff like that, and like actually hear us and listen. We should do that. Like, that's why I feel like I want to tell you about my experiences in life. So maybe you are entering in, or maybe you are in, or maybe you are on the tail end of something. I want you to know, like, you don't have to wait. If you have something that you want to do, I know we'd be like, well, I want to make sure I have the right camera. That's what I was saying to the young man. He was like, yeah, my father bought me the podcasting equipment. I got all the stuff, and I was like, it's people out here who ain't got half of the shit you got and would love to have that and will start a podcast in a minute. He was like, yeah, but I just, I don't have the time. And I was like, we make time for the things. Every time I say that, I have to laugh because it's like we make time for the things that we really want to make time for. And I laugh because that is so true. Think about it. If you really want to hang out with somebody, you'll make time for them. You can have to go to work in the morning at 6 o'clock, but you want to hang out with your girls. What you gonna do? You gonna hang out with your girls? You gonna say, "Yo, I can't drink too late. I gotta go to work in the morning," and you gonna be. Listen, I done been online at 5 o'clock in the morning where people have to be at a class at 8 o'clock. I know what it's like. We doing karaoke online till 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, having a good time virtually, ain't even outside, just virtually. And I still get up and go to my class at 8:30 in the morning and be wide awake and everything. We make time for the things we want to make. So I'm gonna say this. I want to say in 2023, we right here, 2023, right? Think back to 3 years ago. Think back to 2020. Think back to all the feelings that you had. I want to go to birthday parties. I want to go to backyard barbecues. Think about all those feelings, right? Now think about 2023. Think about, oh man, I want to start a business. I want to do all this. You have all those hopes, dreams, and aspirations, right? And then you get to 2023. What are you doing towards those goals? What have you done towards those goals? Have you done anything towards those goals? Have you even looked at those goals? Or they're just sitting over there? And you're like, right now I'm just surviving. I say, I no longer want to survive. I want to live. I want to live. I want to enjoy the moments. I want to enjoy the day, the weeks, the hours, the minutes. I want to enjoy life. I spent so much of my life trying to protect myself from being hurt, trying to protect myself from being taken advantage of. Didn't do shit. Still got hurt, still got taken advantage of, still was disrespect. I got all these different things. The only thing that I have control of is me. That's the only thing. I was really trying to protect myself. Really trying to protect myself. I I can't do that. I can only do what I can, but I can't make you not be disrespectful. I can only put out that good energy and show you, like, hey, I ain't with that. I ain't with none of that. I'm not trying to down talk anybody. I don't rock none of that ways. Not at all. And whether I'm online or offline, I don't rock like that at all. People get ready to I'm sorry, I gotta go. I don't irrigates, things I see, things I say. I told somebody, I said, growing up, they used to say, if you have nothing good at all, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. And I thought about that. I was like, yeah, okay, I ain't gonna say nothing. But then you think about it, right? You don't be done said something, you be done call somebody slow or stupid, or just not even thinking about it. But then when it dawned on me what that really means, it's like, don't say nothing. Just be quiet. People be talking to me, and if you know me, you know I'm a talker. I love to talk. But people be bringing up situations, I just sit there and be quiet. 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 And people be looking at me like, you don't got nothing to say? I do not. I wish them well. I wish them well. I really wish everybody well. I wish that people would take the time and recognize their hurt and heal it. I wish that people would take the time to say, this this is one of the things that I don't hate a lot of things. I actually don't hate anything, but I'll just say I really dislike the hurt people hurt people. I really dislike that. And I'm going to tell you why I really dislike it. I dislike it because in my mind, I'm like, okay, if you hurt and you know what it's like to feel hurt, we've all been hurt before. I'm sure you have. Whether your daddy told you he was going to buy you a truck and didn't buy you no truck, your mama told you she was going to do your hair and she didn't. We all have experienced hurt, whether it was a major hurt from loss of a loved one or to some, we just lost some money and we was about to go get some food. We all experience hurt, right? When I think of that, I don't want anybody else to have that feeling. I don't want to be in a relationship and cheat on somebody because I know what it's like to be cheated on. And that shit hurts. Hurts. It's like a lingering hurt. It's a lingering hurt. It hurts. And sometimes those hurts take a little bit longer. I will say, um, having being on the tail end of being cheated on is actually great once you get past the because what happens when shit happens we like to like internalize and we start going back of what could I have done better, what could I went through the whole process. I was like, hold the fuck on. I did everything that I was supposed to do. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. I did everything I was supposed to do. I didn't cheat. I was the greatest. I did all of that. But in reality, sometimes we just aren't good enough for people. And it's not that we aren't good enough in that sense. Sometimes people are so broken, they don't even know what they want. People be like, "Oh yeah, I want to have a tall, a short. I want to have somebody that got a job. We got all kinds of wish lists for what we want for people. But in actuality, we don't really know what we want. We say we want somebody who have a job, and then we get somebody who have a job. It's like, why you gotta go to work all the time? Or where are you going? You was just there. We get somebody that's an entrepreneur and they busting their ass and they staying up all night, or they put when you are an entrepreneur. I don't know if you're getting ready to go on that journey. It is not for the faint of heart. If you are somebody who like give up easily, entrepreneurship is not for you. As an entrepreneur, you got to have persistence, you got to have courage, it takes discipline. You got to have a lot of things to be an entrepreneur, especially in 2023. Especially. You got to be able to like communicate. You got to be able to like not snap off on people cuz people still be having business and still be snapping off. Like you got to have a lot. It takes a lot to be a great human being. That's why I don't like to hurt people because it's like everybody out here is fucking hurt. But imagine if all of the hurt people started hurting people. And I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but the last 3 years, a lot of hurt people have been hurting people. Fathers have been hurting their children. Mothers have been hurting their children. Families, fathers have been hurting their entire families. Mothers have been hurt. Like people are hurting. And so the only option that they see is that violence. The only option that they know is violence, is to react with my fists rather than react with words and understanding. Some people come from environments where they weren't asked how you are doing today. They weren't how are you feeling? What are you thinking? They weren't allowed to show emotions. You ever be with somebody and be like, damn, you don't even cry. Maybe like people who eat their fries before the burger, red flag. People who don't cry for me is a red flag. And I'm not saying like I'm just saying it's a red flag. Like everybody has emotions. How do you do that? I remember I used to be like, oh, I wish I could be one of those people that just snap off on people and then just go about their day like nothing just happened. Shoot, somebody asked me to take them somewhere, and I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna take them, knowing I can't take them because I'm tired or something. I be feeling so bad because I want to take them. That's the people pleaser in me that I'm like slowly. I'm trying to go really fast, but I realize when I be going fast, no, I'm slowly. We at the point where it's almost gone. It's almost, but I be feeling bad because I was like, dang, I wish. Hmm. But I'm not. So I'm gonna go ahead and over here and go to sleep. I be wanting to. I be wanting to. I be talking to people and I be like, man, I saw I don't know if it was Instagram or TikTok. It was one of those things, but the person they was like, the person you are now is the person that you would have been safe with. And I said, oh my God. Cause I am safe with me. I am safe with me. And I don't mean like just for kids. I mean like I am safe with me. You ever had somebody ask you if you want to do something and you take a minute. I feel like everything I do in my life, I take a minute. Sometimes I take more than a minute, but I take a minute. Somebody asks me a question, I don't respond swiftly. That means you ain't even listen to what the person said. You just already knew what you was gonna say. But that's what they taught us in school. Like a lot of times people already have the answer to the question that you ain't even asked them yet. They was just as soon as you up in your mouth, they just already, yeah. Nope. I just wait a minute. I learned to listen to myself. I learned to listen to my mind, my body, my heart. I learned to listen. One of the greatest things I learned to listen to was my body. And that come from me when I was 18 and losing my ability to walk and talk. Yeah, because I don't know if y'all know this, but if you're a parent and you got a baby and they learn how to walk, that is the hardest shit ever. Hard is it's hard. We might think it's easy because we adults and we be walking around here. We think that shit is easy. It is hard. It's hard to like put your mind and body. It's hard to do that. That's even like with trust, right? It's so crazy because we trust inanimate, like objects that can't move or objects that can move more than we trust people. I get it why we don't trust people. I totally I totally get why we don't trust people. But at the same time, we trust chairs, we trust cars, we trust planes, we trust boats. We be trusting everything, rather than trust a human being. I'm not saying I'm out the gate over here just trusting everybody, but what I do is I allow people actions in conjunction with their words to tell me or show me or allow me to make the decision on if I'm going to trust you. Because if you're somebody that be telling me you're going to do something and you don't never do it, and I'm not just saying for me, but if you say you're going to do something for yourself and you don't never do it for yourself, how can I trust you? You don't even care enough for yourself. I be caring for myself. When I realized that I did not love myself, I did not love myself. I hadn't not, I did not, I don't know what the word is, but I hadn't forgiven myself for the things that happened to me. You hear people say forgiveness, right? We always be thinking like, what the fuck I'm gonna forgive them for? Because they was, but the reality of it is sometimes we have to forgive ourselves. I remember I had to forgive myself because I thought, I'm gonna tell y'all, um, I was being the key word. I was someone that did not like compliments. It just made me feel like really weird, right? And it wasn't until whew, it wasn't until I got ready to turn 43 and I had It was the second concert in my series, and it went exceptionally well. And people were congratulating me, and I got ready to say no, and I got like something just took completely over me, and I was like transported to the very moment I remember, like when I first got a compliment, and it changed the way that I looked at compliments. I went back to that first moment, and I became so emotional, and I was like, holy shit. The same feeling I had when the first compliment was given, when I had my innocence stolen, there was a compliment given to me, and that first, I had not received a compliment or properly received a compliment, or even like opened myself up to receive a compliment since that first time. And it wasn't until I turned 43 or was getting ready to turn 43 that I realized that. And it was like, wow, all this time, all these years, decades, four of them, decades that I had not even put that together. But when I did put that together, it was like, oh my God, that's why I don't celebrate the things that I do. I wasn't celebrating. I did so much. If I tell y'all half of the things that I did in the pandemic, you'll be looking like, what the fuck? So y'all want to? I scored a documentary that was in 5 film festivals, won awards, streaming on HBO Max, and I never celebrated that. I could talk about it like, yeah, I went up the street and around the corner. I could talk about it, but I never celebrated. It was just something that I did. And then I was just like, I gotta, I don't want to pay the cost of perfection anymore. I don't give a fuck about being perfect. That's just me. I'm not gonna be perfect. My hair isn't even perfect. My fucking glasses I got on my face right now ain't perfect. Nothing about me is perfect, but you know what it is? It's honest, it's truthful, it's gonna do whatever I need to do to be successful. And not in the I'm gonna be out here doing some strange things for a piece of change. I'm gonna bust my ass to get there. If I have to read 3 books a day, if I have to stream, whatever I have to do, I'm going to do that. But I'm going to enjoy every moment of it. I'm not out here, I'm not about to, oh, when I get the right, mm-mm. If I told the artist, I said, what if I told you that every video I've ever made was on an iPhone? Every video, every one of those videos y'all see on my YouTube channel comes from an iPhone. It was an iPhone 8 Plus, actually. And I just got a 13 Pro Max last August. So the most recent ones y'all saw when y'all see me go live, that's my phone. I don't got no big fancy camera. I got a desk light. I got a Five Below lights. I got a lamp. I got another lamp, and I got a lamp right here. I'm using household stuff. And you probably like it look like that shit too. Guess what? You could do the same thing. You could do it. I'm planning to, upgrade and do all that. I just had to get to the point like I wasn't gonna be one of them people that's gonna come out the gate and got all this stuff and then it's like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work for me. Now you don't spend all your money on this shit and you ain't gonna get the same amount of money for it. Me, I like to make sure that I'm gonna actually do it before I spend the money on it. Cause then I know what I need when I spend the money on it. So like when I do get some money, I'm definitely gonna get lights. I'm gonna have a different location. All of that. All of that is gonna definitely be upgraded. I'm working on it, but that's part of my next 5 months plan. Better equipment, better everything. Next 5 months. Vendor, in a pandemic and I really trying to know. I'm trying to do everything. I tell myself I almost died. I literally almost died last year. Literally. And I haven't I can actually talk about it now and I'm still not like, when you get past stuff you be like 100%, you be like, yeah, girl, you can let it. I'm not all the way there, but I could talk about it without tears falling down my eyes. They trying, but I could talk about it now. But I said to myself, if I would have died, I would have died with so much knowledge, so many resources. I would have just took everything to my grave. It's like rich people who take all them. You can't spend it. I want to share everything. I said, if you let me live, I'm going to tell everything. And it wasn't like one of those, oh, I'm afraid to die, because I literally, if I told y'all, so anyways, I was just like, I want to do more. I want to do more. When I was growing up, I used to see like I come from a long line of advocates and activists and all of that, right? And I was just like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be an advocate. I don't want to be any one of those things. I just want to be me. I just want to live my life and be happy. I want to travel the world. I want to do all of that. And then life was like, you come from a long line of greatness. You have no other choice but to be great. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be great, but I'm not going to be a teacher and I'm not going to be an advocate and I'm not going to be. And then when I turned 40, you ever know that you're supposed to do something, but you don't do it because either you don't want to, you are afraid to do it, or you just like, why the fuck would I do that? Yeah, I had a bunch of those moments when I was turning 40, and then I was like, forget it. If this is what I'm meant to do, I'm going to do it and I'm going to be happy with it. And ever since I made that decision, I've been the happiest. I've been I've been the happiest. I've smiled so much. Y'all know I got a beautiful smile. I know. But I smile more. I smile more. I don't have that like thing, when you get ready to do something, you know what you're supposed to do, but you're trying to do the opposite of it. That thing, I don't have anxiety anymore. I don't have anything. It's just like, yeah, I'm waking up today. I'm doing music administration. I'm gonna call some people and we're going to I have that thing in the morning. I'm going to I told you I wanted to be public speaker, right? Somebody asked me, it's like, why are you on all the platforms? I said, because some platforms I can talk about anything. And some platforms I can sing. Some platforms it's just all about me hearing my voice more. Like I know this platform is supposed to be catering to the fans or the subscribers or follows or whatever. I do that. I do. But for me, it was just for me to hear my voice more, to hear myself speak, to get past the why the fuck would people listen to me? And then say, here's why people will fucking listen to me. Here's why people should fucking listen to me. People should fucking listen to not just me, but to other people. You want me to tell you somebody you should actually listen to too? Kids. I love listening to my nieces and nephews. I tell you, every time I talk to them, I learn something new about myself. Because kids would be so blunt and so honest. Like, that's why I was just like, when I was growing up, I had so many hopes, dreams, and aspirations. I was going to be in the WNBA. Let me tell y'all this. I was going to be in the WNBA. I was going to play for the Houston Comets with Cheryl Swoop, Tina Thompson, Cynthia Cooper, and Kim Perot. That was my team. I was going to the WNBA. And I was like, I'm going to play in the WNBA for a couple of years, give me a championship, and I'm going to go over there and play in Italy. That was my dream. And then I turned 18 and had a nervous breakdown. I had a nervous breakdown and it like took my ability to walk and talk from me. And I was like, yeah, I ain't doing that shit no more. I gotta figure out something else in life. I'm a music artist. I grew up in a musically inclined family. I could play all kinds of instruments, no theory, all of that stuff. And I was like, I don't want to do that because I don't want to do that. And I want people's like, you should be an artist manager. You really could, the business. And I was like, I'm not about to be nobody's babysitter. But when I turned 40, I accepted the calling on my life with a purpose or whatever it is. Um, and I've smiled every day since I did that. And I say that to say to you, the cost of perfection is too much. Don't even try. I know you like, but I can do it. I can do it. Don't even try. Perfection doesn't even exist. If you have something to do it. Something you've been wanting to do it. People like to see you where you start, especially since we've been in this global fucking pandemic. We want to know what other people is doing. We want to know. How many of y'all watch those uh what are they parodies of the Carly girl, the Carly lady? I watched them. I laughed. Some of them are really good. But the reality of it is she had a mental break. And how many times have you yourself had a mental break? And how many times have you seen people around you have mental breaks? I was watching the news the other day and they said a very well known food truck owner eliminated or unalived himself and his family yesterday. And I just thought to myself, like, we gotta we gotta start looking after people. We gotta start talking about mental health. We got to start talking about depression. We got to start talking about anxiety. We got to start talking about these things because people are real life experiencing these things. And we made it such a bad thing for people to be depressed. We made it such a bad thing for people to not feel like themselves. We made it such a bad thing. People start talking about how they feeling. Oh, I don't want to hear about that. Let's talk about somebody else. Let's go get this bottle. Let's turn up. When in actuality, I say, when I be talking to people and I talk to parents, I love talking to parents. I don't have kids, and sometimes people like, you don't got no kids, and you don't even know I raised a bunch of kids, I raised kids, and now they got kids, and their kids got kids. I raised kids, is what I'm saying. But I talk to parents because we are in an age where everybody has a phone, a tablet, or something. And I feel like if you are a parent who didn't get as much hugs or as you thought you should have got, you didn't hear your parents say, I love you, or you didn't hear somebody tell you that they love you or hug you or show you that affection or be intimate with you, and not on that weird way, but like share those things with you. Somebody out here in this world will do that. I mean, and it's not even just talking about parents. I'm going to say to adults. There's adults out here who are just looking for somebody to hug them and hold them at night. When in actuality, we just need to hug and love ourselves first so that when we get into situations, we're not carrying baggage into those situations. But parents, I'm going to go back to you. If you are a parent and you have a child, I want you to hug your child. I want you to ask your child how their day was, what are their thoughts, what are they thinking, how are they feeling, especially if you have a child who identifies as lesbian, gay, transgendered, androgynous, any one of the alphabet mafia letters. I want you to do that because the world in and of itself, whether it's this internet or outside of your fucking house, is evil. It's not all evil, but it's highly evil. And the safe space, your home should be a safe space. No kid should have to worry about getting abused or beat or taken advantage of sexually in their home. That's your safe space. That's their safe space. If you are a mother who are seeking companionship, keep it away from your house for a while. Check out the person's family tree. Check out them. I remember when I was growing up, they would say that all the time. Check out the family tree. Check out their mental status. Check out all of those things. Like, we're not telling people to do that no more. People are going on the internet meeting people, and then next thing you know, they gonna move them in the house, and now they beating on. No, 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 no. We got to start caring for ourselves and caring for those around us again. I realized me and my mother had a conversation. I was like, I really feel like when they people were like, fuck the community, that's when things start going to hell. I remember being able to walk in a neighborhood and then, you had this person that was gonna make sure you made it home safely, or hey, we had people that looked out for us. I had people that looked out for me. To this day, I still got people looking out for me, but I had people who actually looked out for me and cared. When I be meeting people on these social medias, I'm just meet you like, oh yeah, I like to get to know people. That's not for no relationship. That's not for nothing other than I like to get to know people. I want to know if you're not having a good day. If I'm watching you stream and I could tell like something you're not, I'm gonna send you a DM. I'm gonna slide into your DMs and ask you, is everything okay? Because I want to know that. I ain't gonna just go, oh yeah, I'm good. And then next thing you know, you hear about somebody unaliving themselves or they done shot up, or I'm not with that. We've all been in a global fucking pandemic for 3 years. Some of us been locked up. Some of us been locked in our homes. Some of us is still kind of like, that's me. I'm kind of venturing out here and there. I'm just not outside yet, but I'm venturing out there. I don't stay outside too long. Yesterday I went to the music festival and I had to call somebody because I was having a panic attack. I forgot that they were having an air and water show, and so like the traffic was horrible. And I was like, "Oh, I'm just about to get out the car," and then it was raining. It was so much. My senses were overwhelmed, and I just like, I need to call somebody. Let me call somebody, and we just was talking, and just having a good time. And before I know it, it was like an hour and 30 minutes later. I made it to my side of the town, and I was just like, "That's what I have to do." I felt found things to like ways to ground myself, ways to be like, okay, you are okay. Literally, before I would go on karaoke, I would be shaking so bad because I had this thing about me, my voice. Like, why do people listen to me? I don't even like the sound of my own voice or whatever, right? But then I got past that, continuing to sing, continue to talk, continue to like share my emotions, express myself. I got past all of that, and then it was like, yes, people should listen to me. I'm not a mental health professional, but I can tell you what it's like to be depressed. I can tell you what it's like to have anxiety. I can tell you what that feels like. I could tell you how to deal with it. No, I'm not a mental health professional, but if we actually being truth, some of them don't even know. They just tell you what they read in a book. No compassion. No, I deal with compassion and empathy. That's like how I live. Like if I talk to you on social media, I'm pretty sure you have some other way to get in contact with me. If I talk to you, like real life talk to you, not just because you come to the podcast, but if I like talk to you or I be in your streams or I be on your channel, like you have other ways to get in touch with me. That's like how I am. I like to get in, I like to know people. I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, that's this person. No, I want to get to know you, especially if you a cool person. Cause have y'all been outside? I was just telling somebody, I said, we live in a society where insecurity is running rampant. I don't got my teeth not fixed. I gotta go get my teeth done. I gotta go get my body done. Y'all remember when it was just women that was doing it? I feel like men was doing it on the low, but they wasn't like talking about it like they are now. Men going to get their body done, liposuction, getting their teeth, getting their hairlines. Like I'm not knocking anybody. You got to do, what you feel you need to do. But at the same time, I want us to start loving ourselves again. Loving ourselves, teaching that same love to our kids. You are beautiful. The way you are beautiful. Now, if you're an adult and you still out here walking around here with baggage from your childhood and your young adulthood, your 16 previous relationships, it's time for you to let that go. Let it go. You can dress the outside of, you can have on the flies, Jordans, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, you can have on all that shit and still be ugly. And we know a lot of people like that. Still be ugly. It's time. The cost for perfection is too high. It's too high. You shouldn't even be trying to shouldn't even be trying. Just let it go. We trying to we trying to look expensive. We trying to look like we got it all together. In reality, we don't got shit together. We scrambling. That's where we should be looking in ourselves and say, you know what? This shit is not even worth it. I am not happy. Why am I not happy? How did I get in the situation that I am in? We got to start taking accountability for those things. Accountability. Be responsible to ourselves. gonna be in a relationship trying to say, "Oh yeah, I think we should do." You know exactly what you should do. If you don't feel love, if you don't feel appreciated, you know that you don't want to be in that situation. Get out. Is she telling people that she get out that relationship? I sure in the hell am. I sure in the hell is telling you to get out of your situation. You know you don't want to be there anyways. You know you don't want to be there. You know you don't want to be at that job. You've been having this, you got a whiteboard, you got a vision board, you got all kinds of boards, you got all kinds of dream books, you got all kinds of shit. You know what you want to do with your life. Maybe you need to change your environment, change your friend group, change your community. Maybe you need to surround yourself. I surrounded myself with more entrepreneurs and I realized that I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy, but I realized that I'm not crazy because I'll be in these going to these different accelerators and pitch competitions and writing these different grants and stuff, and I'm like, I'm pouring so much of myself into these things. And I asked the question. I asked the question to some of my fellow entrepreneurs that look like me, and I was like, am I the only one? And they were like, no, you're not. And this is how we learned how to play the game. And so they taught me how to play the game. And since I've been playing the game, I was like, oh, well, why didn't nobody tell me this sooner? But because they taught me how to play the game, I'm going to tell y'all how to play the game. That's where I'm at in my life. Everything that I learned, I want to share it. I don't want to hold it. I don't want to gatekeep it. Now, some things I do have behind the paywall because, that's my business. It's my job. It's what I do. But a lot of things I can tell you for free. I could tell you it's time for you to let that go. It's time for you to let that go. What is that? You know exactly what it is. Whether it's hatred, anger, bitterness, jealousy, envy, if any one of those things, let it go. If you still holding on to things previous to 2020, I don't, I don't know. At any time in the last 3 years, you could have passed away. Every one of these last 3 years, I have had a near death experience. One of them was a death experience, and I had to be. But, anyways, I don't have the only thing that I dislike, I strong dislike right now. I'm working on it. The only thing I strong dislike is hurt people hurt people. That's the only thing. I don't have hate for anybody. I wish everybody well. You can't wish everybody well. Yes, I can. I want everybody to be well. Think about it. We just survived. We are surviving a global fucking pandemic. There's a syphilis outbreak. I was talking to my mother. I was like, what's that thing they had gave the Tuskegee Airmen? And she's like, it's syphilis. I said, oh, that makes so much. Do y'all see what's happening right now? Are y'all paying attention? The cost of perfection. We out here trying to look good. Listen, protect yourselves. Protect yourself. You probably thinking it's just gonna be a one night stand, and that one night stand turned into something whole nother. Protect yourself. I said to somebody, I was like, I made it to 43. Good. You think I'm gonna wait 43 and I'm just gonna start wilding out? It's a no for me. It's a no. I gotta do. I got so many things I want to do. I want to travel. I want to live in other countries. I want to build my platform. I'm still going to be helping music artists. I'm going to release a Christmas album, a nursery rhyme album. I'm going to become a member of the Grammys. And not just so I can be like, oh, yeah, I'm a member of the Grammys, but I want to, we can only do for us. And only in order for us to do for us, we have to be in the positions to do for us. So I want to be a part of everything where I could do for us. If you know what us I'm saying, you know what us I'm saying. That's what I want to do. I want to talk to people about things that they don't talk about. I want to talk to people about mental health. If you are not feeling yourself, you don't feel yourself, you feel like you want to harm yourself, please seek help. Please seek help. I know we made it seem like it's, you know, everybody is experiencing so like shit like that be irritating. I'm not gonna say I hate that. It'd be irritating, and it comes from people not even understanding. It's like, well, it happened to me? Look at me. Look how I turned out. But in reality, you fucked up too. We all have had fucked up experiences. Whether you come from a family that was wealthy, you had everything you ever wanted in your life, or whether you come from somebody that grew up in the crack era, we've all have had situations where it was like, damn, that's fucked up. We all had, where they be like, it's a red pill or the blue pill. You can go back and I don't want to change any fucking thing. I don't. Don't. Not in time. Have I thought about my life and I was like, yeah, I'll go back and do something differently? Nope. Because I can't even tell you the kind of person I would be. If if God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whoever would have heard my prayers and said, I want to be one of those people that could just cuss people out and just pop off on people and not even think about it after that. If you would have heard my prayer, y'all would not have got this light, love, and positivity in me. Oh, I would be out here. I would be letting so many people have it just because I know I wasn't gonna have it wasn't gonna bother me later. But unfortunately, no, I'm not gonna say unfortunately. Fortunate enough for me, I have a conscience. I can't just do anything. I can't just treat people like shit. Can't. Can't. I can't. I have a thing where when I go to the gas station or I see people outside, I give to those people. Cause you know what? Those people have hope, dreams, and aspirations, and sometimes they just take the wrong turn and they don't know how to get off of there. Sometimes people encourage them to get off, or sometimes people, see them as human beings. A lot of times we don't see them as human beings. They are either junkies or alcoholics, or we got all kinds of name for them. But if you take all that away, they are still a human being. I'm wrapping it up right now. The cost of perfection is too high. Too high. Whether it's your mental state, oh, I'm trying to get this because I'm trying to, like so many people trying to be a millionaires and be wealthy, and it's like you don't even know what you're really asking for. Like if y'all ever paid attention to lottery winners, like a lot of them either be unalived or they come up missing, or like because people be is that money, the money that people be trying to get. I I don't gotta win no. I don't gotta win no lottery. I feel like right now I'm like the most person ever. I got a house. I got a truck that works sometimes, but no, I got a truck. I'm surrounded by people who love me. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give y'all. I'm not just gonna end it right there, but I'm gonna give y'all 5 actionable steps to help you through the process of start taking accountability and living your best life. You see, I went back to my outline. I got an outline. I have one. I just feel more comfortable talking from my heart, saying things that I feel. Number one, setting realistic goals and breaking them down into manageable tasks. One of my goals is to have 3,000 videos on my YouTube channel. I am at 2,600. That means I need to have like 400 more videos between now and December. I could do that. I could do that. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to do shorts. I'm going to do mukbangs. I'm going to do positive affirmations. I'm going to do guided meditations. I'm going to do beat creations. I'm going to do puzzles. I have a whole bunch of things. I could just go on and on and on. But that's one of my goals. Another one of my goals is to be a public speaker. And I have been doing a great job. I've been on every month so far. I've been on a podcast. Um, like I said, tomorrow I'll be speaking about being a content creator. Super dope. Yesterday I spoke on at the festival. I've been able to share my business. I've been doing a lot of things, right? Number two, this is important. All of these on this list is important. Number two, embrace your failures and learn from them and see them as stepping stones to success. If I would have never failed in any of the other businesses that I created, I would not have been able to be successful in the business that I am in right now. Because it was those businesses that helped me understand I'm a procrastinator. And I don't procrastinate because I can't do the job. I procrastinate because there is this feeling that I used to get where it's like that last second, like, like when I was in college, I get the syllabus, I do the homework ahead of time. But part of me started to like that adrenaline, right? When it's like that last second, like it's due at 11:59 and I submitted at like 11:40, is that, and I be feeling accomplished, like, I could go on by my life. But now it's like, no, you don't have to do that. Something is due, or you're trying to have a goal, you're trying to reach something. You don't wait until, I'm not going to wait until October and try to figure it out. No, I have the rest of July, August, September, October, November, December. I got Vlogtober, I got Vlogmas. I got a bunch of things up in there that's going to help me get to my 3,000 goal. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But you gotta embrace failure. I failed a lot of times. I stopped. I the last 5 months I hadn't posted on um, YouTube, and I'm the type of person, like, if I don't feel it, if I'm not rocking with it, I would immediately not do it. I would say no, and I would not do it. But sometimes we don't know how to trust ourselves, and that's why on my video I'm gonna do it here. But I'm gonna say it right now, but I'm gonna do it later too. That's why when I'm Xing, I say, you ever have the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, or you ever on a conversation and like they say something and like your hair is literally on the back of your neck stand up, or you get goosebumps, or you get a feeling in the pit of your stomach. Yeah, you got to start trusting those things because it's gonna tell you. It's not gonna lead you wrong. It's the flight or fight response. Sorry, I got a little speech impediment. Sometimes it get the best of me, but um, yeah, you got to trust those things. And you definitely got to trust them. And sometimes it might seem like it's the most minuscule thing that it's telling you to do. And you probably like, nah, I'm just going to go. It's telling you to go right. And you trying to go left and say, nope, go right. Go right. And sometimes you ever follow that thing right and you be like, oh my God, it's an accident over there. Good thing I followed my first mind and went right. Yeah, you got to trust that. Yesterday, I didn't trust it. I totally didn't trust it. It told me to close my windows, and I was like, look at the sun. It's shining bright outside. It ain't gonna rain. No, I'm gonna leave my windows open. Now, before I had left my windows open, I'm telling you this because it's important. I left my windows open, and the rain, I don't know if it shifted position because it had never rained in my room before, but it rained in my room. My floor was wet. And so I was like, it's sunny outside. I get over to the music festival and it started pouring down. And I said, I should have followed my first mind and closed some windows. But guess what? If it tells me to do something, guess what I'm going to do? Follow it. Number three, surround yourself with a supportive and encouraging community, people that's going to help you reach your goals, people that is going to help you, support you, encourage you, uplift you, motivate you. Now, this is not their job. It's not their job. Let's make sure we say that. It's not their job to do that. But people who want to do that, people who will assist you in doing that, will say, hey, I see you trying to start a business. Like, that's what I do. I go to these different business accelerators and things like that. And people I know around me is like, hey, you doing your business. You need to go to this accelerator. It's free. You got to throw the free word out there because people are like, I don't got no money. You got to go to this accelerator because they're going to help you get this thing that you're trying to get. You're trying to get a food truck. They got all the resources to help you get a food truck. You trying to start your LLC, they got all the resources to help you do that, and you don't have to come out of pocket. They'll pay it for you. I'm trying to tell y'all, there's resources out here. You want to start something? There's resources. You got to surround yourself with people that's going to support you and uplift you and motivate you, not tear you down. It's not somebody that's going to question you. Well, they need to ask you questions, but not somebody that's going to ask you those kind of questions. Why you think you could do that? Who gonna listen to you? Shut that down immediately. I'm going to do this because I survived a global fucking pandemic, and I'm not about to leave this pandemic, or I'm not about to move forward and not have a plan. We're not about to do that. Number four, prioritize self-care and recognize the value of your own well-being. Self-care, self-love is the best love. Taking care of you first before you take care of anybody else, that's the most important thing. None of this shit around here works without me. That's how you should. None of this works without me. And that's not no egotistical thing. That's just saying, if I am not whole, if you are a parent, if you are not whole, if you haven't healed the hurts, if you haven't healed the things that are going on with you, you are indirectly going to pass those on to your kids. Indirectly. You might not believe it, but I guarantee you, as a parent, you could think about times when your mother or your father had did something and you now presently as an adult do that. Pretty sure you could do that. Number five, practice consistency and persevere in pursuing dreams. So what, you get knocked back. So what, you have to say, you go 5 steps forward, you got to take three back. Learn from it. Learn from it. Maybe every grant isn't a good grant. Maybe every podcast topic isn't a good podcast topic. Maybe everything on YouTube isn't something you should do. Maybe you should find something that's good for you. I found something that's good for me, like love and positivity, juicing, working out, podcast. Like I found those things work for me. I'm doing video games now. Those things is working for me too. I'm trying my hand at everything and I'm learning what works and what don't work and what don't work. I learn from those things and I move forward. Forward is my objective. Living in the moment and moving forward is my objective. I'm gonna give it to y'all one more time. I'm gonna put these in the community tab on my YouTube page too. If you haven't subscribed just yet, you should. It's in the description. Number one, set realistic goals and break them down into manageable tasks. Things you can do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to get to that ultimate goal. Two, embrace failures and learn from them and use them as stepping stones to success. Three, surround yourself with a supportive, loving, encouraging community. Loving is really definitely one of them. Number four, prioritize self care and recognize the value of self love. Number five, practice consistency and persevere in pursuing your dreams. Don't let nothing stop you. Fear, operate in fear. I do a whole podcast, a whole karaoke, everything I do. I was doing it in fear, but I knew I just had to get past that. Like you probably watching this right now, it's like, I want to start a fucking podcast. You should. You should. Everybody got a podcast, but we don't got a podcast talking about what you're going to talk about. You should do it. That's why you should do it. That's all I got. That's all I got. Remember that it is important for you to use your words because that is the only way. That is the only way that anyone will ever know what you are feeling or what you are thinking. I will never let a live video, vlog, short, anything that I present to you go out without me telling you to love. That feels so good to say. Love yourself. This includes your faults, your fears, and your failures. Because we don't tell people that they should love themselves in those times. You should. You love yourself when you got the job, the house, the car, the girl, the guy, the clothes, the money. Love yourself all the way around. Know yourself. You know what is you and what isn't you. You know what you like, what you don't like. Don't be living for other people. Live for yourself. Trust yourself. Again, that's the hairs on the back of your neck, the goosebumps that you get, the feeling you get in the pit of your stomach, that loud or that small voice, your first mind, whatever you call it. Trust that because it will not lead you wrong. And most importantly, just be yourself. Why? Because you need you. I need you. This great big old world needs you to be authentically you. You and I are currently surviving a global fucking pandemic for the last 3 years. We're still in it. Nobody really talks about it, but we still in it. Anyone that cannot love, respect, or appreciate you for being authentically you. That's you that you wake up before you put on all the makeup and all that stuff. That person. Anybody that cannot love and respect you for being authentically you does not deserve to be in your space. It is time that you learn and understand boundaries and stand 10 toes down on them. If you haven't been paying attention to the news, you most definitely should. You most definitely should. Whether it's political, whether it's health, whether it's financial, world, global, local, social, pay attention to the news. If you haven't already, get you some toiletries, non-perishable food items, water, disinfectants, and some cash money or some coins, and some coins to the side. And if you are engaging in adult activities, and you know what I'm talking about. Horizontal tango, missionary, froggy, whatever you're doing, protect yourself, wrap it up, cover it up, all of those things, because there is syphilis and the STD rates are rising, rising, rising. If you are not familiar with syphilis, Google the Tuskegee Airmen, Google syphilis. It is not something to be played with. You should definitely take care of yourself. That's all I got until the next time that I go live or upload another video, which will probably be about 10:30. I'm gonna go live on my Twitch and we're gonna watch a movie. We're gonna watch a movie. Yeah. Anyways, thank y'all for being here. Until next time, I love you. Peace.